I will turn it over to Mark Bey, our college tennis insider, a familiar face in the TennisONE app, and he's going to welcome our very special guest here this evening.
Thanks, Madison. Always happy to be here. It's been a fun couple of weeks with our On the Road to Champagne show, and now tonight to offer some commentary and a little bit of feedback and talk through an actual round of 16 match is even more compelling. So it's a great night for tennis, and obviously there's a lot of great tennis that's already been happening out there at the NCAA round of 16 matches at the respective host sites. But we do have a special guest tonight, and it looks like Melissa is helping him out, getting himself all geared up. His makeup is on, his sweatshirt is on. It is Patrick McEnroe.
Listen, my wife is. Let's say hello, everybody. This is my wife,
Hello.
Melissa.
Hi, Melissa.
She's an absolute expert. I mean, she's done live performances from up here. She's done Broadway shows from up here. So I'm like, baby, you got to set me up here. I need to make this happen.
Is the world watching, or are we on tech right now?
Yeah, they're watching. They're watching.
The world is watching.
Yeah, everybody's watching. All the tennis fans are watching.
Hello. Okay, I'm going to go away. You like the lighting? Is that good?
Oh, my God. I look amazing. Look great.
It's the cutest I've seen of Melissa in a long time.
Is the frame good for what you're seeing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Very good frame.
See, I got an expert right here, right in my own house.
That's outstanding. So, PMAC, way back in the day, 86, 88, couple of NCAA championships there. Obviously, Paul Goldstein is a legacy coach there now. There's just a ton of Stanford alums, Mike and Bob, et cetera, that are out there. What is it like to just sort of reminisce and take a second to think back about your time at the farm and how that related to you going on and winning a title in singles and 16 titles in doubles as a pro?
You know, college tennis, Mark, is just filled with so many amazing memories. It was awesome to be on the farm, you know, coming from New York. And I always wanted to go to California because I knew that, you know, especially in those years, that was big time college tennis with USC and UCLA and Pepperdine. And, you know, in those years, you know, Georgia became a juggernaut, but it's not like it is today where it's a lot more spread out, which is great for tennis, I think, and great for college tennis. So playing on a team was something I loved. You know, I remember being a freshman and, you know, starting out playing number 6 on the team. And, you know, we had Dan Goldie and Jim Grab and Derek Restagno, just, you know, all guys that ended up being very successful pros, not to mention, you know, the great players from SC and UCLA and so on. And then going down when Georgia got hot with Pernfors and Miller and Ola Momquist, of course, who I went on to work with at the USTA. So, you know, just the team aspect of it is incredible. You know, playing on the farm with the energy. We did win 2 titles, as you mentioned. We got picked off one year by Georgia, which was a year we probably could have won it as well. And then we had one down year when we lost a couple of our top guys. And then we reloaded with Jeff Tarango and David Wheaton and Martin Blackman, my good buddy, who, of course, now runs things at the USTA. So Martin and I played doubles together when I was a senior and he was a freshman. And we had some great times, you know, a lot of great times. So I'm happy to see Stanford getting back in the mix with Coach Goldstein, because it was a little bit of a rough, you know, decade or so for a while for the Cardinal in men's tennis. You know, the women continue to kick butt over the years. So it's nice to see them sort of getting back on track. But I don't know a ton about the Baylor team, Mark, other than knowing that they're loaded. Okay, they're number 3 in the country. So I think Stanford's up against it in this one. I mean, it was an unbelievable win for the Cardinal over the Crimson at Harvard. You know, Ivy League tennis has just been amazing how much stronger they've gotten over the years with Columbia, with Harvard. So that would have been, you know, obviously a massive win for Harvard. But, you know, I'm trying not to shed too many tears that my Harvard buddies didn't quite get it done against the Cardinal.
Yeah, definitely. I don't even want to text Coach Rube for another couple of weeks. I'm sure he's still having some bad flashbacks. But most certainly, the Lely and company have been carrying the torch for the Big S, and now Coach Goldstein for sure is trying to do his job here. Tonight is a tough one. You have a couple dynamics in place. It's going to be 91 degrees still at 7:30.
Okay.
10-mile-an-hour winds, kind of dusty out there. I've spent some time in Waco a couple of times doing some calls. It's a happening crowd. It's a really electric atmosphere there. And to go in and try to steal a doubles point when the Baylor's doubles teams are really formidable and actually very experienced. A lot of these coaches have been dillying dallying and a lot of lineup switching, but Baylor's kept their lineup the same. You know who you're going to play. They don't have a whole bunch of lineup switches last minute. They're putting their six out there and saying who's going to come and beat us. And at this point, they've won 3 straight Big 12 titles with the likes of TCU being the #1 team in the nation in that conference. So they are formidable, have not lost to anyone less than 6 in the nation, and feel like that getting up the doubles point and then having an amazing 45 minutes where Florida took it away from them last year. They want to put themselves back in position to have another sniff.
Well, it sounds like the Cardinals up against it because when I was at Stanford, I hated going to Berkeley. It was cold up there. It was always windy and cold. And like you said, when you would go to Georgia, which was where the NCAAs was played all the years that I was there, we always had to adjust to the conditions because it's obviously much cooler generally in Northern California. So, don't underestimate the Cardinal, Mark. Okay, I hear where you're going with this. I get it, but you know what? I was out in Ojai about a month ago. They were nice enough to honor me out there because I actually won it back when I was at Stanford to beat my good buddy Luke Jensen in the championship match. So I went out there and I watched the men's and the women's semis and the finals. Incredible atmosphere out there. The Stanford women, took the title there. The USC men. How about a run by Washington making it to the final there, which was a heck of a run for them. Matt Anger, the old SC Trojan, he's been there, I think, like 28 years at UW. So that was an amazing performance by them. But we used to, with Coach Gould, who was of course the coach at Stanford, the legendary coach for so long. I mean, I remember this, Mark, like it was yesterday. Okay, as soon as the season was over, and that was probably the Pac-12 champion, and maybe in those years the Pac-10 in Ojai, we'd have a couple days off and we'd go to practice. We'd have about 3 weeks or so before the NCAAs in Georgia. And he had a tape of songs that he used to play that was all about Georgia. Georgia on my mind. It's a rainy night in Georgia. And literally every day at the start of practice, Mark, for those 3 weeks, the first 30, 40 minutes, we'd be warming up, we'd be doing drills. We'd hear the same freaking tape every day. It's all about Georgia, baby. It's all about the NCAAs. And for many years, that was a real pride of Stanford and Coach Gould. Like, okay, we want to win the Pac-10, the Pac-12, but we want to do well in the individual tournaments. But it was all about the tournament, and that's what I love about college tennis. Because this is it. I mean, this is Baylor on their home court tonight. Like you said, disappointment for them last year. Very close. I know they won it, a number of years ago. But you got to think they got a serious shot to go all the way here. But something tells me not going to be easy tonight, Mark.
Yeah, I feel that doubles is always a great place to start, and we'll go there now because they've just gotten underway in the first games on the courts, and we can start taking a peek there.
Oh, man, let's see what's happening. I love how they start these matches with the doubles. And the most I love about this format is that the players go right on the court and play. Let's go. They do their warm-ups with their own teammates, and then as soon as they go out there, it's go time. I think pro tennis could use a little bit more of that, by the way. So I love the format of the doubles first, high energy, high intensity, and it can go by quickly, as we know, with the one set, no ad scoring.
No doubt. And Stanford does, just on paper, have a bunch of rock stars relative to just levels, accomplishments coming in, UTRs, et cetera. So this is not necessarily a landslide relative to the singles, but boy, to be able to possibly get a doubles point to start would help them a lot, and then give some fuel, I think, to a couple key matchups. Obviously, Ferry at #1 is going against one of the best guys in the nation in Boitan, so that'll be a challenging situation, but still a winnable possible match. Basing, who did really well, is just killing it. Maybe their best point at 3 has an opportunity there. 4 has been maybe possibly a point where Baylor's been struggling. So there's definitely some windows in this, but obviously the doubles is where it starts. And looks like we're on court number 2 right now. They just held, Stanford just held in that first game. Number 2 doubles for Stanford is Ferry and Rotsart. Let's go back over to court 1. Court 1 now is into the second game.
All right, so help me out because I can see it reasonably well, but not great. So I got Baylor serving here, and
Baylor serving. It's Finn Bass and Sven Law is the number 1 team there. Really good, experienced group of guys that's done it well. And Geller and Kaprinski. Kaprinski doesn't play singles; he just plays number 1 doubles. Great hands, really good returns, and so. That's the Stanford team playing here at 1.
Here's what I need. Here's what I need you to do for me too, Mark, because I know you're on top of this like nobody. I know Geller's from Argentina, right? Originally, I need you to tell me where these guys are from, because I know there's a lot of foreign guys. So I want you to fill me in on who these, where these guys are from. Give me a little background on them, so because I'm into this, man. I'm big time into this.
Yeah, Geller is from Argentina. Was a really high-ranked junior, did excellent in the slams, and actually had a little bit of pro experience coming in. So right now you've got Finn Bass serving here, and he's serving at 30 at looks like
Stanford won the first game here. This is court 1.
Stanford won the first game.
Beautiful. Now you're talking.
Yeah, so now these guys are serving at 30, looks like 30-40 now.
Okay.
40-30 for Baylor on the score bug.
40-30. All right. Well, I was hoping it might be break point. Get a little momentum.
Got a little I formation going here.
Okay. We see that a lot now. We see that in the pros, guys staying back on the serve, looking for the forehand. Like, oh, that's what it looked like what he's doing here.
That was a great return.
Oh, so we got a sudden death point here.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Let's go. This is big right here. This is what I'm talking about, Mark.
Yeah.
Get a quick little break here. Fear of the tree is right.
This is exactly what you want to do, and I feel that there's a little bit of stiffness on the first serve with Bass. So if he gets a little tight sometimes,
right,
he can have some problems on the first serve percentage under pressure. Let's see what happens here in the first.
Here. Pressure point. We spun it.
Oh, he gets it in. Pocket forehand, and he misses a return long.
Oh, man.
That's a hole for Baylor.
Are you saying 1 court?
He went big down the middle.
Hey, Patrick, in addition to Georgian music, as you guys were preparing for the tournament, give us a sense what Coach Gould had you guys, what's a typical day in practice as you're getting ready for the tournament?
At that time, we would always, groove for a little while, maybe do a couple of drills, but Gould was into playing. We did a lot of, particularly at that time of the year. Maybe earlier.
I guess you don't get to pick the court.
Earlier in the season, you might have done
because they're the ones who are picking.
But come to match, right before the tournament, it was, get as many practice sets in as you can, keep yourself sharp. We didn't practice that many hours at that time. I think that was one thing that Coach Gould was really smart about, was pacing the team throughout the season, so that you weren't too fried, you weren't too fatigued, because once you get into Pac-10, Pac-12 matches, it's a lot of tennis every weekend. So I think he did a very good job of sort of pacing us, so that when we got to the tournament, we were feeling pretty fresh and ready to go. I always struggled myself, which is why I was horrendous in the individual tournament. I was so fired up for the team event, and I would spend so much energy. And, I had so much trouble getting up for the individual tournament. That's why when I look at guys like Stevie Johnson, what he was able to do, winning the team, then go and winning the tournament. I marvel at those guys, how they're able to do that. Oh, look who it is.
Coach East.
There he is.
Hello, Patrick.
Legend.
I love that shirt on you. We got to put one on Mark.
Listen.
Hello, Mark.
My ACT score, today. My ACT score was good, but it wasn't that close. And Carl Neufeld recruited me to play 6 at NSC for like a 15% scholarship, and my mom didn't go for it, so I couldn't get myself to the Pac-12. Sorry.
We would have taken you in a second, Mark. That was another coaching error on my part.
So, Coach, I was just telling everybody here how you used to play right after our season ended, before we would get ready for the NCAA tournament, which, of course, for so many years when I was there, was in Georgia. And you played that tape, right, of all the Georgia songs while we were warming up every day for 3 weeks. That's all. I got Georgia on my mind. It's all about Georgia. Where did you come up with that?
Well, I just thought it'd be kind of fun. I still have those songs. I love them.
So that's a good first serve right there by Rozart. So that's a hole by Stanford at number 1. So it's 2-1 on serve. Every place is on serve still. Jordan, let's switch back over to court number 2.
What's going on 3, Mark? Is that 2-1 Stanford? What's up there?
It's 2-1 Stanford. They're just going to an actual changeover.
All right. Okay. I mean, we're in the mix here, Coach. We're in the mix. We Mark tells me that Baylor's loaded in singles, so he's like, Stanford's going to have to win this doubles point.
Doubles point is critical. It hasn't been a strong point all year. We've been doing okay, but not a great strong point. So we'll see. The house that Mark Hurd built, incredible.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I mean, I could see the stand looked like it's packed down there. Unreal.
Yeah, we miss that guy in college tennis. Matt and now Mark have done a great job building all the enthusiasm down there at Baylor.
Is there? I've heard a rumor, Coach, because you built one of the most amazing facilities ever. When I first got there, it was like this tiny little shack. You used to have a little office. Now it's like we got the room of the Hall of Champions. We got the videos. Is there? A little birdie told me there might be maybe a little expansion coming or a little change. Is that true?
It is possible. I don't know that it's been totally decided upon yet, but it is possible. And I think they're trying to make in the same plot, put in 6 courts side by side for a total of 12. We have 11 now, which would be nice because in a lot of ways. So we'll see what changes take place if they do. It's a ways off. But
now I want to ask you one question, Coach, because this is something that's been bothering me for many, many years. Okay.
You want to know why you played number 2 instead of number 1?
No, well, that I know because I wasn't that great. Okay, I mean I was okay. I want to know why I always played number 2 doubles. That's what I want to know.
Who played 1?
2 doubles. I mean, me and John Letts, we would kill Goldie and Grab every day in practice. But we'd always play 2. And then I played with Martin Blackman. We beat Wheaton and Tarango 6-2 every day, 6-1. And I'm saying he's never going to put us at 1. I guess because we're just a lock at 2. Is that it?
I don't know. Coach, a lot of coaching errors made, believe me. But I can't apologize. They were pretty good at number 1 also. So
yeah, they were pretty good. You're right.
What a great crowd. How's the weather down there today, Mark?
It is 91 degrees, 10-mile-an-hour winds. And it's perfect conditions to come out and play tennis. It's just a little bit of an oven down there. So hopefully they play with the lights on, though. Even though it's light out, they start the lights earlier just so everybody can kind of get used to it.
Oh, that's great.
That's kind of a late start. I mean, is that because of the other matches during the day, Mark, or is that because it's cooler, or they want the nighttime atmosphere?
They want the nighttime atmosphere. They often start at 6, but today's graduation, so they pushed it a half an hour back because of graduation.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah, that's amazing. I don't think we've ever beaten Patrick. I don't know that we've ever beaten Baylor. I know it never happened when I was coaching.
They beat him in 2018, Coach. 2018 National Indoors. The last time they played.
So we're on a win streak.
Yes, sir. And they beat him indoors of all places.
Listen, Coach, when you were at Stanford, Baylor wouldn't dare come out to Stanford. Are you kidding me? I mean,
we didn't dare go back there either, Patrick.
Not now, but now we got no choice. So we've got. Let me get this straight, Mark. So all the round of 16 matches are being played at the higher ranked teams' home courts, right?
Correct. They brought that in 2019, ran it for a year. Last year, because of COVID, they decided to just have an old school round of 16 with everybody at Orlando. But this is the new format to have an earned, if you're a top 8 sort of ranking, that you're keeping a host all the way through until you get to the Elite 8.
I like that. And then the Elite 8 is in at Illinois, right?
This year, yeah. They're moving it around. It's getting to different college campuses. They're trying to still keep that college, atmosphere and not just have sort of a innocuous site like Orlando. But Orlando got it last year, and they're getting it next year. And I'm not sure over time. There's a lot of arguments back and forth. Do you want to keep it at one place so you can actually get marketing and media and contracts and build it up, almost like Little League Baseball, or do you want to have colleges still have the opportunity to host? It's obviously a double-edged sword. I'm not at those tables.
But it's interesting because next year it'll be Division 3, 2, and 1 at Orlando all at once. The synergy there is going to be incredible for college tennis.
That's right.
That's amazing, and they got plenty of courts there. So give me an update on the score here, Mark, because it's hard.
It's 2-all and number 1 doubles, and ironically, there's a lot of missed forehand returns. That was a good return, and obviously a poached volley there by Baylor. So now we're 15-all here at 2-all in the first. Or in the only set, and it's 2-all everywhere. It's knotted up on serve everywhere at all the positions, and this is definitely. There's been some no ad points at every court, but at this point the serving team has been able to get it done. No breaks so far across all 3.
If I remember correctly, Coach, when I was in Stanford in the mid '80s, I believe we played no ad, didn't we? I think we played no ad because I know. Yeah, it was no ad. Yeah, I mean in those years. The most exciting matches for me were when it came down to the final match in doubles. In those years it would be 4-all, let's say. And I remember playing a couple of matches, and I mean, Coach Gould right in my face, Patrick, please get your serve in. Just please get it in. Put it in the box, man. And playing that number 2, of course, the number 2 court. I couldn't get to number 1 court.
Well, no, we stacked our lineup.
And everybody came around that court. You see it happen obviously now in singles, which we saw last week at Harvard. I mean, that was unbelievable. I caught the end of that final match. I mean, I almost felt bad for the Harvard guy, the senior who cramped up. Oh my God, that was brutal. But
5-3 in the third, cramping with the freshman getting through it.
I'm telling you, that was a huge Stanford win right there. Unbelievable.
Harvard's always played. Harvard's always competed well. I've always had a great respect for their program, how their players have competed. And it's interesting. Mark Leslie of UTR, Mark's son, is a roommate of the fellow who cramped. And so I was hearing firsthand from the Leslies a little bit about all that happened, and it really was too bad. It was a terrible thing that happened. That was like Alex Kim in Blaze in Georgia in the quarterfinals. In fact, he cramped so bad they took him in. They stopped. Full body cramp. 2 minutes of health service, got a lot of fluid put in him, and he wasn't responsive. Took him down to the hospital, gave him more, and his brain started to swell. It was a really scary situation. Fortunately, he came out fine. But
that's a good return by Baylor there. That was game point for Stanford to go 3-2 on serve. Stanford just got a break at number 3, and we'll go there in a second. Let's see this no ad point here at number 1.
Ooh, so number 1 court, we got Stanford serving at no ad point right here. So
no ad point, but Stanford just got a break at 3, so we're going to go down and take a peek at that after this point.
Man, I'm tight right here. This is tight. Get the first serve in. Kick it. You missed it?
Missed it. Let court long. Let court long.
Second serve here. Oh, man, this is where the elbow gets tight, Coach.
And there's another forehand return missed. I've seen like 7 forehand returns missed.
Maybe
wow.
It's a 10-mile-an-hour wind. The ball's moving around right there. Give me the 2-hander. I'd be easier with 2 hands. Make that shot. Okay, let me ask you a question, Coach. I mean, you've seen everybody, okay? And I'm going to ask you there's 2 parts to this question.
Jordan, let's switch to 3.
Go to 3. The greatest player you ever saw in college. That's the first question. The greatest play. Just that particular moment. Is it my brother? Was it Connors? In college, who was the greatest player for that?
I must go with John because what he did in the match he played to win the NCAAs after 18 matches in 8 days, and the match he had against John Sadri. He had another match at UCLA against Ilya Telcher, where he was down a set and 5-3, I think, and Telcher worked his way up at the net and a 3-all point chance to win the match at the net, and your brother ran all the way across the court, and UCLA great doubles that would have put us down 4-2. Went all the way across the court in a long point. Telcher at net in position to win the point. Your brother hit a passing shot that was unbelievable, and Elliott kind of welted, and that kept us undefeated that year. But that particular point was the greatest point I've probably seen in the pressure.
I actually recently watched the documentary that Bud Collins did. Did you see that, Coach?
Oh yeah, that was incredible. And they captured that moment.
They showed that shot, and I was like, you're right. That was one of the most forget about like in college, in tennis, one of the most amazing shots. And I remember Elliott's face, like, because he's still up 5-4.
That's right.
But he just after that, I'm done. I think he won one more game in the match.
Yeah, the whole time, and then we came through and won 2 out of 3 doubles and beat a great team. It was amazing. And then the NCAA performance where he led the team undefeated in singles and doubles, and then again it was like it is there, Mark. It was 90-degree humidity and 95-degree temperature, and 18 matches in 8 days. And he gets to the finals as 3 out of 5 sets.
Right, against John Sadri, who had a huge serve, monster serve.
Huge serve, and John was Mac was cramping. He would have to lay down on the court and changeovers and get his back stretched out, and could barely get back up. And most amazing 10 days of tennis I've ever seen.
All right, so the second part of the question is, who was the greatest, just pure collegiate player, like the greatest college career? I mean, I know you had, the Bryan brothers. You had obviously Mac was just there for a year. You had Alex O'Brien, I think, won the Triple Crown. Stevie Johnson, of course, what he did at UCLA, at USC. Who would you say was the best college player? Forget about what happened in the pros.
Well, I have to think Alex O'Brien's performance as John Whitlinger won the Triple Crown, which was a great start. First time it had been done in the dual meet in the format with the team and the individual tournament. And then Alex O'Brien followed it up. Stevie Johnson did it. Not very many guys have done that. And you really have to give a lot of credit to the guys who can lead their team to victory and also win the individuals.
Yeah, that's hard to do. I mentioned on the show, 98 was my first year being there, so I watched Goldstein, Roddick on one, and Bobby obviously should have probably lost in the first round of singles and ended up winning all 3 of them and beating Paul in the final there. It is just really difficult emotionally and psychologically to come back that next day, even with a 5 o'clock start, to reset yourself and play in that. This is hard to do.
Incredible. And I think that you have to realize too that very rarely, I think very rarely will someone win the tournament without having a match where they really have to dig deep to get through it. And it may be a match that might not be expected to be a close match, but it's going to be one match along the way that they have to survive. And it may not be against the best player, but they have to stay in there and fight and fight and fight. If they can get by that one match, then they probably have another couple of good matches in them.
Ironically, here in this match, Stanford won the toss on all 3 courts and was serving from ahead. I think there's a lot of extra pressure when you're serving to tie. When you're at 1-2 and 2-3 and 3-4, the cumulative pressure there is mounting, and it's still on serve everywhere right now. But in number 1 doubles, even there's a no ad point as well.
Well, particularly with this format, right? With the 1 set, with the no ad. I was saying, Coach, before you came on, one of my favorite things about this format is I love the energy that it brings to the individual teams. Like, they go off, they practice, they warm up. They're basically like in a full lather or full sweat, and then they go out to the court and it's boom, let's play. No warm-ups. I mean, nothing. And to me, that's awesome for tennis. Like, I feel like it brings a lot of energy to the teams.
Well, it does. There's no waste of time.
Jordan slipped to 1, maybe.
There's a lot of no wasted time now, and there's the break between singles and doubles. You don't really have time to get off the court. You stay there and skate if you can find any, and have a quick reset, and you're ready to go again. And I think it speeds it up. And I must say, I've always loved the no-ad scoring. I think there's really, people say it's different when you go to the pros, but I think it makes you better in the pros because there's so many clutch points. You can't play a loose point. And if you can get ahead a point or two in each game and play ahead, you have a big advantage.
There's a break for Stanford at 1, double fault.
Go, baby. Let's go. Come on.
I think I jinxed the guy. I said that he was a little tight at the top of the motion on the first service game, and he just doubled there.
Listen,
so
Mark, I mean,
break to Stanford at 1.
Nobody knows it better than you do. Okay, you're on top of it. That's why you're here, and it is awesome to be here. And let me tell you, I don't know. I might even stick around. I might even come back later, because I got to go, take care of my girls here in a little bit. But I might even come back because I have a feeling, Mark, that something is brewing tonight for the Cardinal. I don't know what it is. The doubles, the energy is good. They're hanging with them. You would think Baylor with the home crowd. You mentioned that they're rock solid in doubles. And you know what? Stanford's come to play tonight, baby.
Yeah, for the hard way is not easy. Obviously, for the hard way is easier when you're at home. But as a road team trying to steal it, you definitely want to try to find the 3. I want to know how Victoria's backhand's looking, by the way.
She's doing pretty well. We just came from the club. We just hit a little bit, and she's doing great. My daughter is loving tennis, hoping to play in college. Stanford might be a little tough, to break the lineup there, but she's having an awesome time. And, I'll tell you, it's been a wake-up call for me, running our McEnroe Tennis Academy for the last 5 years and traveling to a lot of junior tennis tournaments, since I left the USTA, when everybody, of course, was coming at me all the time, attacking me left and right. So I've learned a lot. Let's put it that way. I've learned a lot watching and paying attention and running the academy. And you know what I realized, Coach? You may be surprised by this, because you used to say, one of your great lines used to be, we hit a great shot or, serve and volley. You go, hey, easy game, huh, fella? Easy game, right? Easy game. Now I'm realizing this game ain't so easy. That easy.
The hardest thing is watching your own child play, no question about it, Patrick.
So that's a wake-up call.
I might have put you in number 2 doubles, but you know something? Someone asked me the other day to name what I thought was the best backhand, one of the best backhands in the team we've ever had. I said Patrick McEnroe. So it was incredible.
Listen, I had to have one shot, I couldn't serve. I couldn't hit a forehand. I was slow. Other than that, I was a hell of a player.
Well, you did pretty darn well, Patrick. So I don't know, Mark. I don't know how well you guys know Paul Goldstein and Brandon Koop. They've done a tremendous job there with the program. I really pull for them hard. I don't get a chance to get out to watch many matches because I'm working on a nonprofit on concussion education, developing such. But I get out when I can, and these guys have just done a great job day to day with their teams. They have a respect for the team, and they work them hard. And I'm really pleased, and we'll see. And Baylor is always well coached, so it's going to be a great match.
All right, give me the update, Mark, on each court, please.
Yeah, right here at number 1, after that first volley is missed, Baylor has an opportunity to try to break back. So it's 30-40 here with Spinlaw returning here, and they're running like a partial eye.
Okay.
And that's a good play. So he kind of moved from the middle and covered the high volley and got it done. So now we're at a deuce point here. It's a big moment. It's going to be 5-2 Stanford, or it's going to be 4-3.
Who takes this for Baylor? Who's going to take it?
I would think that Spinlaw would take it.
He's a guy in the ad court? Okay.
Yeah. He's the one that's taking it.
He's won singles?
3 singles.
3 singles. Okay. Where's he from?
This is 3 and 4.
3 and 4. Okay. All right.
Uh-huh.
All right, let's go, Stanford. Come on, baby. First serve, first volley. Just like Coach used to say. Make the serve, make the volley.
Oh, that was an overrule. They called the serve out. He missed the return wide. The referee overrules.
So
5-2 Stanford.
Come on, baby.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Come on, man. Let's go.
Let's go down to 3, Jordan.
I gotta say though, the one thing I don't like. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I see a lot of bad calls. Okay, and it really pisses me off. Okay, in college tennis. So please, Mark, you see a lot more than I do. But when I turn it on and I hear stories, and then I see when something blows up somewhere, what are we gonna do about it? Or am I overreacting?
It's tough. I think that when I was at National Indoors, in February, I thought it was called pretty fair, but I definitely know what you're saying. And the score that I find the worst line calls coming out at is 15-30, because you win the 15-30 point, and now you got triple game point,
Right.
triple break point, or it's 30 all. It's like a huge sort of just chasm in the game, and I think it gets called really tight there. But the rules are in place, and I've seen it where people have a match was lost. A guy in Tennessee was defaulted because he got his 5th overrule. They are enforcing.
Carolina, Tennessee, right?
Yeah, the way it goes is that your first one is like a free hook, and then the second one you get a warning, slap on the wrist. Third one is a point. Fourth one is a game. Fifth one you go home.
That's a lot. I mean, I make it like the third one you go home.
Patrick, junior tennis, Patrick, how is it there now?
It's a little shaky, but I found that it seems to get a little better as they get a little older. I think it's in the younger they are. They're obviously young, and there's obviously parental pressure is the main reason. Let's be honest. But I think as the kids get to the level where they're reasonably at, where they know they're pretty good or whatever level they're at, and they get a little bit older, I feel like it's gotten better.
Then what happens when
Patrick, you got a break point here, Patrick.
Come on, man.
No ad point for Stanford.
They're returning, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
They're back. I got to see she's going net. Okay, come on. Oh man, forehand.
Oh, he makes it.
Come on, baby.
5-3 Stanford.
Behind the baseline.
We're a game away. We're a game away on 2 courts right now, right? 5-2 and 5-3.
And go to Jordan. Go to court 2. You got a game point at number 2 to go 5-3.
Unbelievable, man.
Our good friend
Charm tonight. Come on.
They get it. Stanford goes 5-3 across the board.
Yes.
Our good friend Tim Cass just tuned in. What a great coach!
5-3 everywhere.
Thank you, Tim. Yeah, we got Brad G. We got a bunch of Stanford. I see a lot of Cardinal color. That little Stanford hat.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Coach, I had the distinct opportunity to play for Wally Goodwin about the same time Patrick was at the farm. I'm sure you remember Wally.
Oh, what I'm so sorry about losing him.
We lost him last year, unfortunately, but he was quite a man.
We're having a nice, well, I think just had it, a nice thing in his honor.
Yeah.
A week or so ago, I was out of town.
Yeah.
Tremendous person.
Quite a guy.
The one other quick story I want to tell you, Mark, and I want, I've said this to Coach before, but I want to say it in front of the college fans here because, my 10 years as Davis Cup captain was, I was very proud of that, and I was very honored by, the ability to be able to do that. And of course, Mike and Bob, are just unreal, what they brought to the table. But what I learned from Coach, okay, back when I was in college, and he said to me, I think he said it to me after I was done with college, but when I asked his advice, as I became the Davis Cup captain, and Coach said to me, he said, Patrick, he said, I treat everybody fairly, but not necessarily the same, okay? Because, we know what an individual sport tennis is, and that's something I always remembered when I was working with, Andy Roddick, the Bryans, James Blake, Marty Fish, because every one of them is different, right? And if Andy Roddick, for example, came to me and said, hey, Coach, I'm just going to practice for 45 minutes today, I'd be like, yeah, Andy, do whatever you want, no problem. But if it was a young guy or someone that needed a little extra work, you handle a little bit differently. And I think that's the way you handled us, Coach. You knew you had guys with different egos and personalities. We were all used to being, top 5 in the country or whatever we were in juniors. And then all of a sudden we come together as a team. And I just want to say to you, thank you for all you've done for tennis, number one, for Stanford, and for helping guys like me move on in their lives post their tennis career.
But I didn't treat you very fairly, Patrick, when you played number 2 doubles, so that's not quite
Smart.
accurate.
You were smart. You put me with the other. You knew I was Mr. Steady. You knew I was solid.
Well,
and that was a great move.
There was a guy number 1 doubles. Jimmy Grav is number 1 in the world 3 different times, 3 different years. So that's not too bad at some point during the year.
Yeah, he wasn't too bad. And Coach, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to come out to freezing cold Chicago and be a guest at my clinic and an actual national convention that I ran there for 14 years. And people still talk about the lessons that they learned. And obviously, I still remember everything you told me at the bar. So I most certainly, I learned a few things. I learned a few things both ways that weekend. I'd like to thank you for making that trip because that was special to have you in Chicago and put your blueprint on some young juniors and families that I was working with at an early part in my career.
But it was a pleasure for me to watch you work with those kids and all you did with them, the drills you had them do, how fast you had them all moving on the court. It was really impressive for me, Mark. As far as I was concerned, from that moment on, you were my idol.
Well, you see that, Patrick? Number 3 doubles is in the record books, my friend. 6-3.
6-3. We got it. Can we go to 1? It's 5-2 there, right?
It's 5-3, but Baylor's trying to hold. I think we need to go to 2 and see if we can see if Stanford can actually Baylor's. Oh no, Stanford got to go to 1. Stanford's serving 5-3, but love 30.
Oh,
yeah.
This is not good. Okay, well, let's see here.
This is big.
This is where the hometown crowd, gets into it. And Tim C says, "Do we like the round of 16 being hosted on?" Yeah, I like it. I think it's great. I think for the colleges the universities that earn it, I think it's a great reward that they should get, and I think it creates a great vibe on campus. So I like it, but I don't like it at this particular moment. I don't like it.
Well, did you like that let court ace that Stanford just got? How do you like the let court ace?
I mean,
that's good. That's good coaching.
Yeah, exactly. I'm wondering if that's ever going to happen in the pros, because a lot of the kids at our academy, they're playing all the ITF tournament. So when they're practicing, they'll serve and there'll be a let, and they're like, "Are we playing less?" And I'm like, "Are you playing USTA or ITF? What's the tournament?" ITF. Okay, play lets. It's like
I heard the academy's going great guns, Patrick. It's incredible.
Doing well. It's been a lot of fun. We're
follow several locations now.
Yeah, it's a great energy there. Got a lot of great kids and some good kids too. So it's fun. What is it? 30 all or 15-40?
30 all.
Let's go. Come on, right here now. We can close it right here.
Whoa, we almost got too cute with the drop volley, but they push it long. So now you got a doubles point right here.
Oh man.
Match point, doubles point for the Tree Boys.
I love it. You see, where's some Baylor people on this? So I guess they're all at the match.
That's right.
Looks like a damn good crowd there.
Oh yeah.
I think Peter Renner just jumped in.
That's it.
Edgar Racket.
Eager Racket. There he is. The Rennis.
Yeah.
I don't know why
that's a doubles point for Stanford.
I can't figure out how to make the app.
Like that guy's familiar. What is that?
What's that?
Where are you, Peter?
I'm in Connecticut right now. I was in LA yesterday, and Stanford just got that doubles point, so I'm pretty pleased about that.
Go, baby. Go.
I've been listening to you, Coach, and Mark. Just keep this thing together.
Listen, Mark is a pro, man. He I just listened to him when it comes to college tennis, man. He tells me everything I need to know. And listen, guys, unbelievable to be on. Thank you all for having me. Coach, you're the man. You're the best Rennist, as we call him in the McEnroe household. We got some Rennis stories. And if Stanford is, I may be back later. So I'm just giving you fair warning right now. I'm going to be following the scores. I may be back, okay?
Well, let's get a good start in singles, and Patrick, and how great to be here with Mark, and good luck to you.
Coach Cheese, thanks for coming on. It's great to have you.
Thanks so much, Coach.
Hello,
Coach,
Lefty.
you were talking about that shot that Mac hit.
Yeah, you were there.
I was standing behind the fence because I played Fritz Buning on the court next to him, and I was down 7 match points, 7-6, 6-7, 7-6, 3-5, 4 tiebreakers. I got off the court, so instead of being down 4-1, we were down 3-2. I was standing behind the fence when John hit that cross-court backhand to break back and go on and win that match. Crazy shot.
I'll never forget that. But that we had more great match with UCLA. It was really always really a great battle, and I think it was really that rivalry did a lot for college tennis in general. It was a fair rivalry, a lot of respect between the teams and coaches. I was really, really proud of that rivalry. It was a great thing for college tennis.
I had a question for Mark. Mark?
Yes.
I don't know that we've met, but hello.
Good evening.
You were talking about before, when you were talking about the bad calls and the 15-30 point is the one that sort of is attracting the most energy at the moment. Is it still the far sideline that is the place where that happens?
I think it happens everywhere. The serves are big, so sometimes you take the serve away. The far sideline, I think, is more of a test. You're going to test the line judge to see how involved that line judge may want to get on that, because it's not an easy situation in the chair to call a far sideline and trust it. Clearly, if you just look at a few years ago when I was hanging around on the Pro Tour with Mike and Bob, I'd go in the stat room, I'd talk to these guys that are doing all of the replays, and they told me that I think it might have been 2018, the amount of successful challenges at the ATP level was 32%. So if you think about it, 68% of the time, a player thought that they were wronged and they weren't. But 32% of the time, they got it right with the human error. So it just begs the question in juniors and in college and at all levels, when someone's being accusatory of someone else, how fair is it? How accurate is it? And so this